Hi there, I'm Isabel Cooper, and I'm here with Canadian Film Review, talking to Cassandra Cronenberg about her wonderful short film, Candy, which is premiering this year at TIFF. And let's start off by saying congratulations. I saw it and it was wonderful. And let me start off by asking you to just summarize for the people who are going to be watching this who haven't seen the short film yet.
Okay. Well, I would have to say Magali Simard, one of the programmers of the Shortcuts Canada segment, she summed it up very well. She really, to paraphrase her really, it's an experimental short film of sort of human transactions, love, sex, money, art. I would add sort of addiction into that as well, or I don't know. There's something else there that I'm struggling with that I don't really know exactly how to put it at this point. But over one night, and so that's how I would summarize it, I guess.
Can you tell us a little bit about Candy's character and her life?
Candy's character was sort of based a little bit on Candy Darling, but a sort of more updated version in some way. And her life, I would say I sort of define her as like a hustler muse. She's, that's sort of how I would define her.
And can you tell me a little bit about the poet and his situation that he's in his life?
The poet is, he's an artist, but he's just on the cusp. He's sort of a street poet. I mean, he's like borderline, one of those prophets who stand on the street prophesizing. So he's really, that's how I see him.
Is there a parallel between the two characters, or are they separate and independent?
Well, they have an interaction, a transaction in the film. So that is their they meet in the film and have an interaction where Candy is sort of in awe of his art, and as opposed to needing money.
You have, of course, a full background in terms of painting, writing, like all different kinds of medium. Do you find that all the different artistic things that you do sort of end up influencing each other?
Yes, definitely. I learn from paint. You can apply. That's what's so amazing about art forms specifically. Like if we're talking about like pottery or craft / art. High, low, whatever. But you can learn. Definitely, everything can apply to everything within art for sure.
Do you have a favorite medium, or do you want to do it all?
Yeah, I want to do it all. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
If there was enough hours.
If I could, I would. I'm gonna try.
In film, there's so many different mediums coming together. There's a combination of music. There's the cinematography. There's the work the actors are doing. There's the direction. Yeah. There's so much going on. Does it become a little bit challenging to sort of embrace that it's so much a team effort and not all of it is in your control?
Definitely, absolutely. Because my experience. Although I, was an AD for 10 years, an assistant director for years, and I've grown up in film or whatever, it's totally different. When I'm used to just writing on my own or painting on my own, it's a very solitary pursuit. And there's a downside to that also. But I found it very, very challenging to, especially with everybody, but just in post-production, it just comes to mind right now, with my editor and my music supervisor. They are such artists in themselves, and I really had to just hand it over to them. And then, I just found it, yes, it was I really had to respect them as artists with the process, and it was a challenge for me, definitely.
Can you tell us a little bit about the poem?
The poem is called Weekend Pass, and Mark DiSeverio, who acts in the poem, in the film, in both, and he recites the poem in the film, and then sort of lives the poem also, although I don't want to give too much away, but it's about Weekend Pass. He is bipolar, and he's been in and out of the hospital since he was 19, basically, and he's in his early 30s. And so the weekend pass is his weekend pass. You know, he gets weekend passes. He's spent extended periods of time in a psych ward. So the weekend pass is, you know, it's his weekend pass, and we shot it in a weekend, which kind of, you know, so it was like everybody's weekend pass. But yeah.
And this was your first time acting, so tell me about that. Or was it?
It was.
It was,
Oh,
yes.
it was. Yeah, yeah. I've been an extra before on my dad's films, like when I was younger and stuff like that. But this was my first time acting. Yes, it was very challenging. I found it very challenging, yeah.
And there's also an intimate scene. Did you find it even that much harder?
It was very difficult. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was really hard, yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be that challenging.
Well, it was wonderful chatting with you. It's a wonderful short film. I really enjoyed it. And congratulations on being in TIFF. I'm sure you're thrilled. Yeah, wonderful.